Hey everyone, so welcome to our session 6 of our Data Structures and Algorithm course. Today we'll highlight one of the three key sorting algorithms that we are to discuss alongside data structures and algorithms, which is your bubble sort algorithm. So I am Sir Billy here, and I hope that I could lay down you clearly and you'll be able to understand the concept and apply the same concept of bubble sort algorithm in our laboratory exercise. So it is expected that at the end of the session, we are able to describe how a bubble sort algorithm works in C#. We will try to let you understand and be able to trace a simple C# program applying our bubble sort algorithm and demonstrate a clear steps involved in the bubble sort algorithm. So come on, let's dive in. So what exactly is a bubble sort algorithm? A bubble sort algorithm is a sorting algorithm and is being used by many developers in real-time applications. In fact, we can use this algorithm with any type of collections such as your array of numbers, strings, characters, and numbers, of course. How will it work conceptually and what are the number of passes? The bubble sort algorithm works on the concept of iterating through the array from the first index to the last index and comparing with the adjacent elements and then swapping the elements if they appear in the wrong order, such as if the next element is smaller than the current element, they are being swapped. As you can see in the image below, we have an integer with 5 elements such as 8, 5, 7, 3, and 1. And as we go on with the session, we'll try to arrange them or sort them applying the concept of bubble sort algorithm. So the bubble sort algorithm starts with the first two elements such that 8 and 5. Since 5 is smaller than 8, so we both swap them. Now we have a list of 5, 8, 7, 3, and 1. Again, 7 is compared with 8. So 7 is less than 8. Since it's true, then we swap them, which results into a new list 5, 7, 8, 3, and 1. Now the next element 3 is compared with 8 and 3 is less than 8. So we swap them, which results into a new sequence like 5, 7, 3, 8, and 1. Finally, the last element in the current list is 1, and 1 is being compared with 8. Since 1 is less than 8, then we swap them so that we conclude to the first iteration with the list 5, 7, 3, 1, and 8. Remember, in our previous iteration, we have sorted a new list leaving to a order of 5, 7, 3, 1, and 8. For iteration 2, the sequence is following the previous list at iteration 1. Here, the first two elements, 5 and 7, are being compared. So 7 is greater than 5 Hence, there will be no swap needed, retaining the list into 5, 7, 3, 1, and 8. Then, the value 7 is compared with 3. Remember the list here. 7 and 3 are now compared. Since 3 is less than 7, we perform the swapping. Hence, resulting into a new sequence, 5, 3, 7, 1, and 8. Then the next element there says 1 is compared to 7, and 1 is less than 7. True. So we perform the swap, which results into a sequence like 5, 3, 1, 7, and 8. Now, the only value, the element that is being compared now is 7 and 8. Now, 7 is less than 8, which is true. Then there's no need to swap them. Or if you try to follow the same structure like the first swap here, 8 is greater than 7, then there's no need to swap. Retaining the list into 5, 7, 3, 1, 7, and 8. Now, for the third iteration, the sequence will be 5, 3, 1, 7, and 8. Why do we need still to perform the third iteration? Remember that the order of our elements in the list is not yet in proper order. Nakikita natin dito that still 5 is greater than 3 and 3 is greater than 1. We can also see that tama yung order ng 1, 7, and 8 because 1 is less than 7 and 7 is less than 8 respectively. So, the third iteration begins from elements 5 and 3. So, 3 is compared with 5. 3 is less than 5, true. So, we swap them, which results in the sequence as 3, 5, 1, 7, and 8. Again, 1 and 5 are being compared. Here, 1 is less than 5, which is true, so we swap them, turning into a list of 3, 1, 7, 3, 1, 5, 7, and 8. Now, the last element in the list says 5, 7, 8. And then, since we need to compare still 5 and 7, 5 is less than 7, or 7 is greater than 5. True. Hence, there is no need to swap. Remember, the list from now is already 3, 1, 5, 7, and 8, which tells us that 5 now is less than 7 and less than 8. Now we last iteration because we see in the list from iteration 3 the order 3, 1, 5, 7, and 8. You would consider moving into the next iteration because there are elements in the list that are not yet in place in terms of its ordered list. So, this iteration starts with the sequence 3, 1, 5, 7, and 8. Here, the first two elements, 3 and 1, is being compared. 1 is less than 3, then we perform swap, which results into a ordered list which is 1, 3, 5, 7, and 8 respectively. Since the following numbers 3, 5, 7, and 8 next is less than its next value. Napansin naman po natin that 1 is less than 3, 3 is less than 5, 5 is less than 7, and 7 is less than 8, then there's no need to perform swap. That concludes the iteration 4 with the sorted order of the elements in the list 1, 3, 5, 7, and 8. Now, here's the code for you to be able to grasp how that sorting or bubble sort algorithm performed in an actual C# program. So, would be asking to enter the array elements here, which are your 8, 5, 7, 3, 1, and then within the next for loop, which is seen here, we are performing the swapping, where each element in the array list are being swapped until such time the elements of the list are being arranged in order from the lowest to highest values. And then after sorting array, a for each statement calls on the ordered array list. Here 1, 3, 5, 7, and 8 is being displayed. And the next statement says the loop iterates in 16 counts. So, saan po galing yung 16 counts na yun? Bale, meron tayo ditong count na ginamit within our sorting part of our program, and performing the steps that we did in the last 4 slides I presented with you. The number of loops iterates to 16 steps until these array elements are sorted in ordered list. So I'll be sending you this code so that you could be able to try them in your working PC. Now, we could see that the bubble sort algorithm is tedious enough with the 16 iteration. Here, I am presenting a more improved bubble sort algorithm implementation with the implementation of the Boolean flags within the sorting aspect of the code that we have here, so that once this is implemented or is tested through, then the loops, the structures within the loop will have to be evaluated. So we see here that in the first for loop here, we see an iteration from 1 up to the size of the array, which is 5, less than or equal to 5, and if flag returns to true, then the loop continues. As it goes through the for loop structure, flag is assigned false. Hence, it continues with the next for loop with a j as a counter, and j is compared with the length of the array less than 1, and then increments by 1. Count here is used to count how many iterations will we have within the for structure. After which, an if statement is being called upon, calling upon the value associated to our array list. Here, the elements of the array list is compared with the elements of the first element of the array list. From them, temp takes in the initial value of the elements being compared, and then from that point in, it will have to be swapped from the counter j and the next counter j. The value of the next counter j will have to store in the temporary assigned value. And then from there, the if structure returns a true value of flag. This one then iterates again since flag is still true and the value of I is still less than 5, less than or equal to 5, until such time that each of the element in the array list is being sorted. This for structure is being tested or evaluated. After the sorting of the array, if the value of I is greater than already the size of the array, then it exits the for loop here and then performs the next few more statements. Console.writeLine would have to display array after sorting, and then the for each structure calls upon the sorted value 87531 accordingly, and then would be displaying the iteration accounting to 8. Notice that in the sorting values here, as compared in the previous program, we have the sorting is from highest to lowest because it's seen in the structure. If the element of the second element is greater than the first element, then it retains as a value into temp. Okay, and that becomes part of the ordered list from highest to lowest value. Now, in bubble sort, we are iterating through the entire array. Napansin nyo po kanina from the first element up to the next element until such time it's being compared to the last element and they're being swapped with each other. The average and the worst case complexity of the bubble sort is now denoted with this expression O sub n square. The average and worst case due to nested loops, if we see them in the previous slides that we have, but the best case could have been OFN if the array is already sorted. We call it the optimized version. Okay, and to better understand how the bubble sort works in a contextualized algorithm setup, we have here set flag equal to true first, and then we repeat steps from 3 to 5 for I equal to 1 up to n less than 1 while flag is true. This one demonstrates the for structure kanina dun sa atin pong last program. And then after evaluating the for structure, we set flag into false. Within the for structure, we set j into 0, which initializes pass pointer j. And then we repeat while j is less than n minus 1 or executes pass. If the data representing the array index j plus 1 is greater than the element yet array index data j, then we swap them accordingly. And then before we leave that loop, we set flag into true, ending the if structure. Then set is now we now set j with j plus 1 until we reach the end of the inner loop and ending the step 1 outer loop. It only exits the entire for loop for the bubble sort algorithm once the expression for I is greater than the value of n minus 1, referring to the size of the array. Okay, so I hope that you would able to understand how our bubble sort algorithm works in our C#. I'll see you at the laboratory with a set of activities relative to understanding and better appreciation of a bubble sort algorithm in a case study. So after bubble sort algorithm, we'll be able to tackle another sorting algorithm, which is your merge sort algorithm. So we will just highlight the strengths and limitations of using a bubble sort algorithm. Now, according to most literature and to feedbacks of developers, bubble sort algorithm is seen to be very easy to understand and implement. We have seen how it work in our examples in the iteration part. And it uses minimal additional memory in place, and it optimizes well for nearly sorted data or being so adaptive. However, with bubble sort algorithm, it's not efficient to be used for large data sets, and our notation performance makes it impractical as compared to algorithms like your quicksort and our merge sort. So let's see how bubble sort is being compared with quicksort and merge sort in our next topic. Okay, so to summarize, when to decide upon when to use a bubble sort, such as is it for learning or for tiny or mostly sorted arrays only. And then we have to take note that for real world, our large scale sorting and for better algorithms like merge sort and quick sort algorithms are the most preferred choice. So again, as I've said in the previous slide, we'll have to tackle merge sort and quick sort, and I hope that would be able to really compare it with bubble sort. So that would be all. Have a nice day.